We are Polaris. Good afternoon. We would like to speak to you today about some of the changes that are taking place around the world at this time. There is a lot of concern about the future, and rightly so, for changes are happening. Some of these changes may impact you personally, your family, your friends, people in your neighborhood. Changes like this bring with them fears, uncertainties. We wish to talk to you then about some things that may help you put all this into perspective. It does not mitigate the effects necessarily of things that occur to you on a personal nature, but it can help put what's going on around the world in a larger perspective. You understand, as we have said before, everything is a choice. There are, therefore, choices made on a collective level to create the change that is occurring around the world. As we see it, there will continue to be economic changes that affect people greatly. There will continue to be fears and uncertainties that surround this. Again, this is part of a global collective choice. However, what's coming out of the other side of that is a new way of thinking, a new way of relating with one another. What you have built over the past 50, 100 years is a culture that exists in its separation. In other words, it's a culture that exemplifies the isolationist aspects of living in physical reality. But there are so many of you who have felt that something was missing. Something needed to change. You felt a lack, a disconnection from yourselves and from one another. Life on this planet wasn't always like this. Once upon a time, people lived in close connection with one another, in close connection with the earth, with animals, with plants. As we see it, that time is coming again. It won't be exactly like it was before. You have technologies available to you that are so different than things were 500, 1,000 years ago. So you won't return to a more primitive way of life. But what will happen is that you will learn to rely upon one another. You will learn to help one another. There are so many of you there now. There are so many of you out there now who are looking for ways to increase the connection that you feel with one another. You are looking for ways to help people, to help others live lives that are more joyful, more prosperous, more connected. This is what we see happening. Any change brings pain with it as well. When you separate from the old way of doing things, there is a pain of that separation. But when you know what's ahead, it can help alleviate that pain and that uncertainty. And this is what we hope to do for you now. Again, you know your world is changing. You can feel it. You see it happening around you. But when you know also that one of the end results of all this change will be a closer connection with one another as people, that you have chosen this collectively as humans, it does make things easier. It does not help again alleviate the pain of what people go through on an individual basis. And we do not mean to belittle that at all. We understand how difficult this will be for many of you. But we also see the wonderful joy and connection that will be a result of all this, that all of you will be experiencing on a personal and global level.